The Houston Texans are another really good example of what could have been. Now, every team has injuries, so I'm not going to completely excuse them, but there's no denying that losing Stefon Diggs and Tank Dell for the majority of the year really, really affected them. We really seen that in that game against the Chiefs in the playoffs. They were really struggling at wide receiver. Nico Collins, he missed some time, but of course, one of the best wide receivers in the league, and Madden, he's, maybe the best wide receiver in the game. 6'4", 94 speed, unbelievable, no worries there. But this is a team that you got to worry about the future for. What do you do at wide receiver? Tank Dell seemingly going to miss some time in 2025, maybe even the whole year. And then, of course, Stefon Diggs, coming off of an ACL himself, didn't really get to fully see what he was capable of up there in the age and on a contract year. So, if they don't find a way to re-sign him to even, 1 year 12 or something like that, he's hitting free agency, and they really need another wide receiver, Tank Dell or not. Right? Tank Dell there or not, you'd need another wide receiver. Not that Tank Dell can't play outside, and not that he hasn't, but I'd feel a little more comfortable with someone a little bit bigger out there. As far as the offensive line goes, this is the side that, in my opinion, if you're a Houston Texans fan, I don't know if it really helps you get through the loss of wow, we could have really had something special with arguably the best wide receiver trio in the league. I think this offensive line would have made what happened to KC in the Super Bowl look like a good time. This offensive line was one of the worst in the entire league, especially in pass block, but run block, definitely not a whole lot better. You have two guys arguably on this team long term, and by that, I don't even know how long term we're talking because Tunsil's getting up there in age, but Tunsil and Howard, not even Shaq Mason. His age is definitely showing, and he's not quite the guy he once was. Titus Howard, kind of proven, just like Mekhi Becton, if you have a bust tackle that's not looking too good, slap him in at guard, see what happens. Why not? Give him a go. But everyone else, especially in Madden at least, Patterson needs a replacement. Mason needs a replacement. Fisher probably needs a replacement. In real life, it's really early, so I'm not going to completely judge him. And maybe even in this rebuild, not judge him, because he's actually not bad for a 71 overall, but normal dev, definitely tough to work with. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, this is, that's probably the biggest thing they need to look at. If not wide receiver, offensive line for sure, especially on the interior. Didn't really talk about CJ Stroud because it's kind of an incomplete season, right? They just, like against the Chiefs in that playoff game, the wide receiver lackage, it just felt too overwhelming. It really did. And you feel like you couldn't trust his guys. And I know you maybe holds the ball a little bit too long, but that offensive line is not going to do you any favors. It wasn't a terrible season, obviously sort of a down season, but still a good one. It was efficient enough. Then we move on to the defensive side of the ball where, unlike the offense, they actually exceeded expectations. Best pass rush win rate in the league, up there in the top 3 for run defense, and that's all while having pretty mediocre defensive tackles. Another first round, second round type of focus for this team. Linebackers, you have Al-Shaair, and then the rest, you probably need a couple more linebackers. Safeties, had some injury concerns there as well, and if you're replacing Jimmy Ward, is it with Kalen Bullock? Probably not. He did not look good out there. In Madden, though, probably have no choice, right? 75 overall star, 22 years old, I think he'll be. You got to give him a chance. Corners, Lassiter, obviously, that's a rookie that looked really good for them. Stingley, a little surprised he's not superstar. He's, one of the top 20 corners in the league, probably higher than that. And then, of course, edge. Can't really hate what happened here. Danielle Hunter, they lose Grenard, who was actually good for Minnesota anyways, and then they improve slightly with Danielle Hunter, one of the best edge duos in the league, and definitely not a problem for the next several seasons, especially on Will Anderson's side. But yeah, as far as the first round goes, it's almost always going to be best available pick for me. I think their offensive line was just so bad. You got to try to find someone, but I know it's not the strongest class, so we'll see what happens there. This might be the first time for the real-life classes that we've taken a lineman in the first round. I don't think we've done that yet. Seeing Will Campbell fall a little bit, maybe we can try to get him middle of the first. Is it worth a trade-up? Probably, honestly, but we'll see what we can do as we basically just need to help the trenches out the majority of this rebuild. But speaking of the draft, let me know in the comment section below, what do you think the Houston Texans should take? Wide receiver, like a lot of mocks have been saying. Offensive line, even though it's a little bit of a weaker class. DT, because they don't have great DTs, but they still manage to stop the run well. What do you think? And while you're down there, maybe leave a like if you end up enjoying the video. Subscribe if you're new. We're doing a ton of franchise stuff on the channel. Too much franchise. It's all franchise. Rebuilds, regular franchises, experiments, following the careers, all that good stuff. And of course, if you're not new, appreciate your continued support on the channel. Follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel, PKR Plays for non-Madden content. And then we did have a members-only rebuild recently, so check check it out. If you're a member, if you're not, maybe click the join button. All the details will be in there. Regardless, let's head on to the offseason. Also, I wanted to give a special shout out to the Houston Texans for kickstarting my horrible NFL playoff prediction bracket from this year. Oh my, I don't even want to talk about it. Joe Mixon, he's 28? 29. Oh, I don't like that. I really don't like that. 27 ratings dropped. Man, I really should have dropped regression to 0 for running backs. They just die so quick. I mean, not everyone's Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry's kind of proven that you don't always have to just completely fall off at a certain age if you are one of those special backs, which I think barring, injuries, Joe Mixon has been one of those special backs for a good time. It's just, once again, those injuries have been the only thing really slowing him down. It's not been a lack of talent or skill. And then we move on to the defensive side of the ball, where huge dev ups for Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson, and Mr. Derek Stingley, and Bullock. How many tackles did he have? Because he really wasn't very good, but he had some interceptions, I suppose. And I guess that's good enough. Almost every safety in the league grades out well as a run defender, but there's so many of them are bad in coverage. Jalen Petrie, maybe, is that the reason why people are saying they need a safety? Because the injury concerns there? I'm not sure, but the safety need for the Texans is considered one of their top 5 needs, so I'm not sure why that would be if Bullock is some great player. I know he had some interceptions, but I mean, we've seen, guys like Demarius Randall in the past for the Packers have some interceptions, so I don't know if I could really say picks are the best way to grade a player, but I'll tell you what, he's not a problem for us, so maybe I missed the mark on him, but as far as Madden goes, there's no mark missing here. I think he did voodoo on me, dude. He messed up my throat as well. Wait, but wait a minute. That's not what I meant at all. Also had a lot of retirements here. Jerry Hughes, Danico Autry. These are guys that Robert Woods. 3 of those guys are people that I would have as mentors on the team multiple seasons down the line. In different rebuilds. So I don't know if it's just because we're actually on them here and that's why, but I feel like we just got scammed. I'm not going to lie. Oh, look at this. I want to touch base about off-season workouts. Well, I'm definitely going to do Danielle Hunter. Will Anderson has plenty of years to develop, whereas, Danielle Hunter, it's going to be not many upgrades coming to his future, so we shall see what we can do here. Oh, really? I want this. Whatever. I really don't know his style. I don't know why my brain refuses to allow me to just check, right? It says defenders. Look at some of the defenders. Look at the 2 corners, the 2 edge rushers, and the 2 safeties. That is a lot of work, in fairness. But if you want those upgrades, man, you got to do it. We got a mock draft, or is it too early? It says mock draft 1, but I know they do. All right, so you got Travis Hunter 1 overall, Sanders number 2, Ward number 3. Where are we sitting at 25? A tackle, okay. 6'6", 325. Not bad. Is that the route we go? I don't know. I think this team needs O-line the most, but I also don't want to reach on a player that's not very good, especially in a user-created class where almost every user-created class you're ever going to find, outside of 2 or 3 options, they're all going to be a bit mid. Wow. Okay, so Stefon Diggs wants a lot of money. There's no way that it's that much in real life. Enjoyed playing for you. I'm testing free agency. That is not what I wanted to see. 33.5. I don't want to force it either, but he is not worth that much. He's not coming close to 25 or 33, the 2 kind of options we had there. We, of course, have Stingley. I think Stingley's to the point where it doesn't matter if we wait or not. It's going to cost us a lot, so we might as well guarantee him for another season. Do that 5th-year option right now. But yeah, I really don't want to lose Diggs, but we're really going to cost ourselves here. I've got to franchise tag him, I think. I don't think that's true how much money he's going to be making, but at the same time, I don't really need the money yet, so let it be, I guess. We'll roll with it. I don't see him making anywhere. I'm going to look at some of the kind of free agent contracts recently, and I'm going to compare it because that is crazy. Tag or not. But then you got to remember guys like Darnell Mooney signed a 3-year $39 with the Falcons. Mooney's younger and he had some potential, whereas Diggs, he's older. The best of Diggs, and you're going to get less than that because of his age. I'm just going to restructure this to the F25 mil. I think that's fine. Cry if you want that we're quote unquote cheating, but at the same time, we've had to cheat in a negative way for ourselves in the past as well. We've had to screw ourselves over to make it a little more realistic. So I think a 1 year 25 would be way overpaying Diggs in the offseason, but maybe you want to make that argument you really need to keep him because you're not super confident about Tank Dell and he's going to go to free agency because he wants more than a year. We'll make that argument. Sure, fair, whatever. Now we move on to free agency, though, where we do have a Trent Brown type. That would be a massive upgrade at tackle, without a doubt. Jenkins would be a nice move as well, but I really think that if these are some of the names that are in free agency, teams like the Chicago Bears are going to be really hard to beat in terms of money. So I don't know if we're going to be able to pull that off, but we're going to try. We need to land, I think, at least one lineman to feel comfortable. But at the same time, I don't want to buy ourselves out of drafting a really good lineman because, we don't need a tackle anymore. We don't need a guard anymore, whatever it might be. And I really thought about trying to get Elijah Moore, Rondale Moore, something for the slot, Shaheed, but they're a lot of money, which makes sense, but still, it's tough. I don't feel great about most of these names even joining us, but these are going to be the guys we go for. Not a hope. Dyami Brown, we got a 1 year 6.5 I like from him for the slot. Trent Brown is unfortunately not going to be a Houston Texan. Now, I will say, I don't know how I feel, confidence-wise in real life because he's been injury-prone, but in Madden, I would have loved to have him. So unfortunately, we do not help our O-line situation at all. And as a last-second kind of panic buy, we do a 1 year 9 for Cam Robinson. I mean, he was serviceable for Minnesota. He's an improvement. He definitely is an improvement. Not quite the improvement we were hoping for, though. We were hoping for night and day. We just got night and 4:30 a.m. I don't know how much of a difference that is, but there's a little bit of brightness. We are in the draft. We have pick 25, of course. Travis Hunter goes number 1. Carter goes 2, so they lied about Sanders, who will go number 3. No, it's Michael Williams. Really wonder where Will Campbell, he went number 4. I've seen him go all the way to 17 multiple times, but when we need the lineman, don't worry about it. You're not going to get one. Don't even worry about it. Pick 4 overall to the Patriots. That's kind of wild. DTs are still kind of falling-ish. Now, Nolan at 13. Everything's actually pretty expected now. Walker at 15 would be a steal for the Atlanta Falcons. Grant at 16. Egbuka at 17. So a lot of the guys that, a lot of mocks have had the Houston Texans going with, kind of not there right now. Wide receivers, Burden, round 1. 5'11", 208, not the fastest, but looks, like a perfect fill-in for Tank Dell. And then, maybe next season as the number 2 guy. He's got a bit of size. Do you want to go that route, though? I mean, we need O-line bad. You got Kelvin Banks. You have Booker. I don't know if I want to go offensive line in the first round, but I know it's too weak to really go past the first round. Defensive tackles, you have Derek Harmon. B, power move, B, block shed. If you don't go in the first round for DT, you're probably losing a lot of talent there as well. I don't know if I want Burden or not. Because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit Tank Dell to at least week 9 minimum, because he's definitely going to be missing some time, it seems. Safety wouldn't be the worst move either. Starks is still here at 18. All right, we move up only a couple of spots using a 4th-round pick and a 7th 2 years from now with Mechie to go up to the Steelers. We're going to take Burden, I think, here at 21. Try to go up to 19 for him, and it just wasn't working out. Genty, yes, I would love to grab him, but I just think he's probably a Dallas Cowboy at worst. But, yeah, let's see what we can do with Burden. Luther Burden going to be playing, number 2 or the slot to start. And then maybe our long-term number 2, 88 speed, 94 excel, hidden development trait. And at this point, I really just don't have a trade up to work with. I really would like a running back here, but A, it's not the biggest need, and B, we can't trade up. We can't afford it. We just don't have the ability to. Shamar Stewart is still here. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Also, Harold Fannin, very athletic. Some tough decisions to be made here because this trenches. The offensive line, I know we got Cam Robinson. The offensive line, the defensive line, there are issues. But at the same time, a nice tight end like that, man, I think Dalton Schultz, I think you can just roll with him for one more year, though. So I don't think we're going to force it. Stewart is definitely an interesting name drop, but I don't know if I believe it makes sense that he's here. This is so tough because I need the defensive tackle position the most by far, but the top two guys would be Stewart, who shouldn't still be here, and then TJ Sanders, who we've had a million times now. Screw it, I guess. TJ Sanders is going to be our guy. A finesse, B block shed, 21 true talent value. He's a late second type of guy. It's just a good fit for us, so what do you want? Once again, I really don't have the draft capital to be making trade-ups, so we're going to go all the way to the third, which, I mean, our next pick is all the way in the late fifth, so you can kind of see that's where we're standing. Offensive line, we've got a couple of guys there. I really don't know half of the names here, so maybe a good thing. Somebody new. Some of my other positional needs, linebacker. I think Toa could play starter for sure, but I really would like a linebacker as well. Safety wouldn't hurt. O-line, we definitely could use one or two. I think we have no choice but to go O-line here. I think that's going to be the move. We're going to look at who the best is of the bunch and just draft them. And, of course, the sad part is, I mean, maybe Charles Grant, but Wilson, the day 3, is really the best offensive lineman there. I mean, I'll go with someone different. I think Charles Grant, I don't think we've taken him before, but I'm expecting normal dev. 197 true, normal dev. I mean, it's just, I don't like drafting O-line in a user-created class. And while I get it, it is kind of a weaker class for offensive linemen, it's always an L. There's going to be quite a bit of hidden, I imagine, in real life, when the draft class gets made by Madden, by EA. But all the user-created classes, almost all of them, they're just normal devs across the board every time. And screw it, we need a linebacker. He looks so raw, it's unbelievable. But late fifth, we're going to go for a linebacker, Aaron Smith. 216 true, 87 speed, 83 excel. Got a little bit of athleticism, of course. And with Dameon Pierce always injured, Jordan James is going to be our guy. We might actually start him properly one of these times. Hidden dev, 90 speed, 90 excel, 92 agility. Some of these guys a little bit later than what they're projected, but you never know how the draft board's going to fall, right? So, I mean, Darnell Washington, that whole situation happened. So it is what it is. There's obviously reasons for all these players, but it's not until right during the draft. It's like, oh, well, all these concerns people were talking about leading up to the draft, I guess, were true. It's like, well, okay, well, would have been cool to hear that earlier on. But Luther Burden, truly our best pick in the draft by a considerable margin. Looks great. I don't know where we're going to play him because I kind of want Stefon Diggs to play the slot, coming off of a major injury. We want to lessen the load of him, if you will. And I want to prop Burden up to be the number 2 wide receiver going into next season at least. But, Charles Grant, normal dev, just don't draft user-created offensive linemen. You're always going to get normal low overalls that can't develop. But I felt like, hey, I needed that position, so I'm going to do it. Of course, TJ Sanders, another low overall, but at least he's hidden. Rest of the class, I mean, it's not great. It's not great, but I haven't actually taken Aaron Smith, I don't think, so let's take a look at his ratings. Wow, he is awful. Great. But at the same time, it's kind of realistic, right? In real life, how many times do you see a team draft the way we do in the standard run-of-the-mill CPU draft, right? This is the class we just had is a pretty standard type of draft. You might have one or two pretty solid players, and then the rest are just guys that are always backups, always special teamers, off the team after their rookie year kind of thing. So it is annoying because we're used to the CPU class, but it's also pretty realistic. It's just tough because you can't really develop a normal dev lineman too much. All right, here is the Season 1 team. Really did not do what we wanted to for the offensive line, but we slightly improved it technically with Cam Robinson, 78 overall there. Grant does not seem to be the guy we were hoping he would be. And then center, we're going to put Scruggs there because, Patterson, why? What's even the point? Tight end didn't improve there either. Wide receiver, though, Burden, brand new wide receiver 2. We'll see what happens when Tank Dell's back, but this is going to be the lineup, I think. Nico Collins at 1, Burden at 2, and then Diggs just killing it in the slot. A little bit less stress on him out there. As far as the defense goes, Henry Toa starts back at left out. Once again, didn't do super well for the linebackers. Got a new DT, but still need to work on that position group by far. Really didn't have a great offseason, but it's really tough. Pick 25, and of course, user class where Outside of the first 2 picks, everyone's just barely usable, if that. All right, so we have $81 million and some names. Danielle Hunter, Stefon Diggs, Jalen Petrie, Damian Pierce, sort of, Cam Robinson, Naomi Brown, Christian Harris. A little surprised that this team loses the players they do. I know you have to pay CJ Stroud and Will Anderson. Those scare me. But as of this season, you almost always see Stefon Diggs in free agency and Jalen Petrie. Why? Like, I won't re-sign them because I know I have to sign some people in the future, but why? Like, the AI doesn't know that. The AI doesn't know that they got to pay those guys in the future. I'm not sure, but Danielle Hunter, I would definitely like to do a 2-year on. If he would do a 2-year 50, I'm happy. Thank you. Huge contract resigning. And then Jalen Petrie, he's really not done well for me in the past, and for whatever reason, they have that super regression on for safeties, so he's almost locked in as an 82 to 84 overall because he's going to lose like almost 2 full overalls in the offseason, and he's going to maybe gain 2 to 3 during the year if he's lucky. So it's tough sledding, but I also don't want to lose him. 2-year 20? There you go. 2-year 20, that's a pretty good deal for us as well. I don't want to go any further than that because I think by the 2-year mark, we should have so many good players on the team that we can actually, start to work on some lesser positions like, safety and whatnot. But yeah, $47 million to try and take care of Will Anderson and CJ Stroud. I'm really hoping there's somebody that's being paid a lot right now, like maybe a Shaq Mason or something that we can get rid of, because I do not want to lose either of those guys, especially CJ Stroud. Oh, the Yeast himself, Stardev. Okay. Playoffs, which I don't know if we're going to be in, unfortunately. I don't even know if it's the Texans' scheme necessarily. It just didn't win. Didn't win enough games. Do we... Oh, we do make the playoffs at 9-8. Okay. We made them as the 7th seed. I was about to say, do we go over 500? We do. That is a close call. That is a very close call. Really bad start of the season, then finished decently strong. Ended up changing the defensive scheme. We were 11 games in, and we had 5 sacks combined for the edge at least. That's horrible, right? CJ Stroud, 3,900 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 picks. Rushing, Joe Mixon, 19 touchdowns, 1,300 yards. It's probably good enough for a superstar with those touchdowns, but is it going to matter? He's 29 years old, 89 overall. I dropped the regression as low as I could. I don't know if that's going to be enough, though. Burden, 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. Probably not good enough, though, for Rookie of the Year, which if it's not, is definitely not good enough for a dev up on his own merit. Diggs, 700 yards, 4 touchdowns. Schultz, really good year, actually. I wonder if it's him or the scheme. I'm kind of interested to maybe get a new tight end and see if we can really kill it with them. Cam Robinson, not a good year, but don't know how bad of a year, to be fair. And then pass rush. Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter combined for 16 sacks. Yeah, that's pretty stupid. That's pretty dumb. Derek Stingley, 6 picks. Kicking was awful. Punting just over 50 means it's a good season. That's my rules. MVP does go to Lamar? Patrick Mahomes. Did we win anything? Rookie of the Year? We did. Wow, I'm a little surprised. I would have thought there would have been a QB in there. Sanders all the way down at 9. Burden with Rookie of the Year. That's huge. We have ourselves 2 superstar plus wide receivers. They can't take that away from us. Also, Joe Mixon was really good. I thought it was a good season. I thought the 19 touchdowns would have put him in the top 3 running backs. Gets him a dev up because of the touchdowns. No, he was really good. He got running back of the year. Burden at number 8 for best wide receiver. O-line at number 7 for Shaq Mason. And then the rest, we have Danielle Hunter there at 9. But really disappointing that the edge didn't play better than they did. They really just... That's a great edge, and it was 16 sacks. I mean, there's some random 79 overall that probably has 16 sacks somewhere. Hell, we see it in real life a decent bit of the time. But let's take a look, see if we can maybe do some damage, even as a 9-8 team. All that matters is you get in. Everyone is 0-0 right now. 7-7, 7-14, 14-14. A really good back and forth here. We have the lead even. Really good consistency. Field goal there. Field goal for them. Touchdown for us. Up by 7, and that touchdown is going to do it. 45-31. Defense was a little strugglesome, but the offense was great. Didn't change the offensive scheme because I was like, let's just let it happen. Let's see what the Texans can do. And wow, what a year. Making the playoffs and winning a playoff game. Rushing numbers definitely a bit better for the touchdowns. Joe Mixon, really good game there. Gesicki was the best receiver in the game, which is surprising. Burden, 2 touchdowns, 90 yards. Let's take a look at the defense now. Will Anderson with 2 sacks, 1 for Hunter. 3 sacks in 1 game, 16 on the year. Let that sink in. That's all I'm going to say. With that rate, which the playoffs are harder to play in, they would have beat their regular season total with half a season, less than half a season to do it, playing playoff games. That's unbelievable. And of course, the Chiefs, not a team you would like to see, but a team we did beat in the regular season, so don't count us out. We're now headed to the end of the game where Kansas City will score 3, we'll score 7. They'll score another 3, we'll score nothing, they'll score 7, we'll drive down for 7. It's a really close game, and we run the clock perfectly. We're up by 1, second half we're up by 8. The Chiefs get a touchdown, but they don't get the 2-point. We get the touchdown, we're up by 9, with ball, mind you. And we're going to pull off an insane upset. Screw the Chiefs going for a 3-peat last year. They can't even get back to the Super Bowl in general. The dynasty truly seems over. That's ridiculous. We're into the championship round. CJ Stroud, 5 touchdowns, 0 picks. Mahomes, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. I guess going for Burden was the move. And remind you, we have Tank Dell, and we're not playing him. We're saying that he's missed the season. We don't necessarily need him right now. We're going to roll without him. And it's working out to perfection. As just fitting, we play against our division rivals, who didn't even win the division either, and they're the easiest team by far that we have faced so far. And yet, here it is. You just know it. It's going to happen, and I just don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it. Really good stop with a field goal to follow. They get 7, though. We get a field goal. It's another touchdown. It's 13-7. It's kind of how the Chiefs game went, but opposite-wise. Defense is playing a little bit better today. They do give up a touchdown after I say that, though. It's a 10-point game. We get a stop, and no! We're headed to the Super Bowl, technically in year 1. What is this? I mean, I never see the Texans go to the Super Bowl, let alone win one, really at all, in general, let alone in year 1, technically. This has been a surprising one. This has been really surprising. Stingler, 2 picks. Mike Jackson with a pick. Kicking was clean. I mean, that's a great game. I mean, our playoffs have been pretty mistake-free. Been a while since we had one of those year 1 Super Bowl wins, so let's see what we can get up to. I mean, this is one of those teams that you argue isn't really a rebuild, but more a reload. I know they're on paper for Madden really set, but they do have a lot of positional needs. Like in Madden, you don't really need an elite offensive line. You don't really need the best DTs if you have insane edge rushers and you have a good user at linebacker. But in real life, yeah, there's some pretty big mistakes or missing player pieces there as the Niners are in the Super Bowl. This is not a matchup I have ever seen. Texans-Niners, I don't think we've ever seen before. Like in Madden, I just don't think that's just something we haven't seen. But here it is. Burden goes to Superstar. Mixon goes to Superstar. Huge dev up there. If he's ever to have a chance to stick around a little bit longer, that is his best chance, is getting that dev up that he just did. And then, of course, Tank Dell still not playing. Maybe push him for the Super Bowl, but, I mean, we don't really need him at this point. Then we move on to the defensive side of the ball, where Stingley goes to X Factor. That's the only dev up we had. No, Henry Toto as well. That's a pretty big dev up because linebacker's a bit of a problem for us as well. But, yeah, Stingley and Toto will take those. Especially Stingley. Went from star dev to superstar X Factor in basically one season because he obviously gets the dev up, once you sim, and then gets the X Factor here for the Super Bowl itself. But yeah, here it is for all the marbles. I mean, I guess let's take a look at who the Niners beat. Did they have an easy road? We sorta. I mean, we had to beat the freaking Chiefs, so it's never easy in that case. The Niners actually had the bye week, so they're actually a really good team. But yeah, we had to beat the Bengals, which is not easy. We had to beat the Chiefs, which is not easy, and then the Colts. It's a divisional rival matchup, so that's a tough one. But yeah, this is going to be a good one, I think. This is going to be a real close battle. Let's see if we can win it all in year 1. We're just the greatest drafters of all time, clearly, obviously. We are going to the end of the game. We do score 7 right away. They do get 7 back, though, so let's not get too excited. 10-7. I don't like it. I mean, the defense is holding. Up by 10. Niners aren't going away. It's a 3-point game. Huge touchdown. We get the stop. Niners aren't going away, though. It's a 3-point game, and it looks like it's their ball. No, it's not. Touchdown wins it. 4th and 1. They go for it all. CJ Stroud's a Super Bowl champion after 1. I can't believe it. Yes, we changed to the Buffalo Bills defense, but it really wasn't that elite for us. And honestly, with the season stats we had, I really thought there was no shot. Yet in year 1, we win the Super Bowl. I really don't know what the rest of this rebuild's going to entail, because we're obviously going to do at minimum 2 more seasons, but we might also do 5 just to see. This is unexpected. I really there's some rebuilds where, it's like, okay, you go into a Chiefs rebuild, you expect to win year 1. You go into a Ravens rebuild, you sort of expected. The Bills, you sort of expected. There's the Eagles, there's teams you expect to have a good chance at winning it all. This isn't really one of them. This is a team that I feel is still missing a bit of, a couple of pieces, especially in Madden, DT spot, interior line, but no, they have just the right amount of talent. The corners are great. The edge is great. Safeties are solid. Wide receivers are best trio in the league, best quad in the league probably. Really, really good running back, really good quarterback. It's just you're missing the O-line, but I guess it just doesn't matter. As once again, we've won it all here with the Houston playbook, like I said, mind you, on offense, which is the most important one. Defensive schemes, for the most part, you're going to get similar-ish results. I mean, as you can see, we bumped the numbers with the Bills scheme, but it still wasn't great numbers. We changed it by week 8 and still didn't even get a single double-digit edge rusher or just anyone sacking, I think, in general. But let's take a look at that. That result is, no funny business. We just won a Super Bowl with the Texans with their base offensive scheme in year 1. That's a great start. I mean, that's crazy. All right, let's go on to year 2, see if we can improve on it. Once again, we're going to be losing Diggs here. We're kind of a little lower on the money, but he's got a Super Bowl ring. I mean, you can't really ask for much more. He had a pretty good time of it. Good decision to stick around, apparently. $61 million. I think we can get away with re-signing. Well, we're probably going to tag them anyways, but re-signing Will Anderson and CJ Stroud. So we'll probably tag them because we do need to save the money unless the tags jumped crazy. Like if the tag for Will is 30 and the CJ Stroud tag's 50, then I'm not going to do it. CJ Stroud, I think you have to. And then Anderson, I don't think you do. I think you just re-sign him right away. But yeah, money is not our friend. We're going to be losing Diggs for sure, Pierce for sure, Cam Robinson for sure. We're going to be taking a little bit of a hit here in the talent, but I think we'll be fine. Burden's already a decent overall, and Tank Dell is going to return to the lineup here. Wide receivers should be good. Then, we're not really losing anything when we lose, the other guys. So I'm just hoping that there's a couple of players here that we're just not thinking of that are making a lot of money that we can get rid of that'll save us a lot of money. Which, I mean, you're going to lose a lot of your linemen, but there are some linemen here that we can get rid of. Assuming Titus Howard's on a 1 year still, maybe you just keep him because he's an 80 overall. Basically, it's a $10 million contract, right? Because you have that dead hit, which, yes, you can split into 2, so it's probably more of like a... I was wanting to look at the contract. It's more of like a 12.5, but yeah, I'm hoping it's a 1 year. If it's a 1 year, we can keep him. If not, I might have to lose him to make way for the Will Anderson contract, which, yeah, he's on his final year, so he should be fine to stick around. If Shaq is on his final year as well, we'll do that. We'll let him play it out as well. I don't want to take the dead hits for players that are good enough still to start if we had to. Shaq may be a little bit more willing to let him go, especially at the older age, but we have options at least. We're not this close up against it and everyone's a dead hit. We're actually able to save some money if we wanted to. So, yeah, that's fine. Joe Mixon, how hard did he regress? We dropped it to 50%. I mean, he drops a few. He's now 30. I'm kind of curious to see what happened at 31 because that's a fair regression for how good of a running back he was last year at 30. I think 31, 32 is where I would be more comfortable making players kind of significantly drop. I think 30, 31, you got guys that are still pretty talented across the board at that point. Yes, more than average fall off at that point, but is Joe Mixon just an average guy? I don't know if I would say that. But here we are in free agency. We got Joe Tooney. We got Brock Purdy. I mean, we could probably do about 20 mil, especially we know with the guys like Howard and Shaq Mason going. So I wouldn't hate signing one of them. I could probably part right now with Shaq. It's about a 4 mil dead, split over 2. So if we really want Tooney, which I do like him a lot, I just don't know if I like the idea of constantly replacing the team with him. I mean, he wasn't great in the Super Bowl at tackle, but he kind of did start out as a tackle. So can we not just move him over to right tackle? He's kind of interested in joining us. We just won a Super Bowl, so why wouldn't he be? What was his interest anyways? Franchise QB, league favorite Super Bowl chance, West Coast scheme fit is what we have, but that's not what he wants. Yeah, fair enough. Ooh, Evan Ingram. We have Dalton Schultz, though, so if we're going to replace the tight end with anyone, it's going to be a rookie. I'm not paying to replace a tight end that I can't get rid of just yet. Kyler Gordon, pretty good slot guy, but yes, we could use a slot corner, but is it so much so that we're willing to ruin the team future-wise? I don't know. We'll do a 1 year 8.5 if he's down, yes, but 2 year, I got to keep us fluid. I got to keep us keep our books open. And then if you weren't aware, Nakobe Dean's going to play for all 32 teams next year, or a year from now after that, according to these rebuilds. We'll offer those 4 contracts, hoping for Tooney, and that's really it. But we get all 3. How will that affect us, especially with Nakobe Dean's being a longer-term 4-year 28? I just know we need multiple guys long-term, so I kind of wanted to go with that. And yeah, it's not a bad group of players. Joe Tooney will be a right tackle. Left tackle's a bit tougher than right tackle, so we'll see if he can handle the job over there. All right, we are in the draft now, and of course we have pick 32. Campbell, there's a center. He is a round 1 talent grade. For a moment, though, he was a top 5 talent grade, which tells me that maybe this is just a really good draft class, and he's just outside the top 5, meaning probably still like a 76 overall, right? So I would imagine 76-ish overall for that center. Campbell, we need a lineman. Is that really the biggest need? Not really. DT is probably a little bit higher. Jalen Walden, I scouted him further because he had a bunch of questionable ratings. It says he's a good talent grade, but I really don't like those potentials, so I really don't know what to do there. I really don't. I think you can't pass on him, especially since that's your biggest need. So I'm going to go to 32. If the center is somehow there, I'm going to take him and then trade up for the DT. But if not, I might just take the DT here, get that 5th year option as well. Swinney, I don't see him. He might have been really high. He might still be there. Or was it? Oh, maybe it was Campbell and Swinney was the other guy. Yeah, Swinney was the 2nd rounder. Never mind. I also do have a running back in Eric Robertson, 5'10", very fast, but we still have Mixon. We have James as a backup. I think we're fine for now. DT, I think we have no choice. Jalen Walden, it's a little early, but I mean, would I trade back 8 spots? I get the 5th year option taking him here. 13 true. And yeah, normal dev. Oh well, what can you do? Well, I didn't realize our offensive lineman class was this week. I mean, we're going to take the only one there. Tyrell Owens, huge player. He's pretty athletic, actually. It says true talent rank 35, hidden dev 93 strength. This guy could be a little bit of a gem. I'm feeling superstar. I don't know why. We'll see if that's the case. But yeah, I need more O-line. There just sadly isn't any. Tight end, Evan Lindsay. I'm not a huge fan of the tight end class, but this guy at least looked decent enough. I think we'll end up trading for him right here, and arguably already calling it a draft because, this is going to cost us a little bit to move up to Arizona. It costs us our 3rd, 4th, and 5th this year with a 6th next year and Jarrett Patterson to move up to that 3rd round spot. Like I said, gonna almost be our draft as we're all the way down to the 6th round now as our next available pick. I think we have no choice but to take this tight end. He looks pretty good. I think we're going to start him no matter what, even if he's normal. 45 true talent, but he's hidden. So even if he's normal, not really fitting, big dude. Good-looking pick. I'm happy with it. One thing's for certain, I am glad we went Nakobe Dean because our linebacker room is not going to have a rookie in it yet again, as now we're kind of down a couple running backs and a safety if we want one. But do I make a trade up for him? I mean, Underwood looks good, but we have our current safeties set for the next 2 to 3 years. Is it worth a trade up? Probably not. Okay, Underwood's still there in the 5th round. I am making a trade up. We trade a 6th this, a 5th next, and a 7th the following year to go up to Dallas. We still keep our 7th round this year. We are going to take the safety. I almost call him a corner. Safety, Miles Underwood, 5'9", 22 years old, C-zone, C-tackle. Could be a gem, and he is, 128 true. Normal dev. I mean, that's a gem considering how late we took him, but unfortunately not hidden, not going to be the guy we thought he was potentially going to be. But we do get ourselves a really good backup safety, somewhere in the high 60, low 70 range for the next 4 seasons. So it's a good draft pick nonetheless. And I really don't trust this, but he's a 3-4 with an A zone and some okay ratings on the left side. 311 in the 7th round. He's a terrible player. Looking at the draft recap, 75, 74, 73, 68, which is okay, and then we're not going to look at that linebacker. Mr. Jalen Walden's going to be raw, but does have a really good block shed. 71 power move, 77 block shed. He makes up for the lacking in size from TJ tenfold, for sure. More of a nose tackle, if you will, but I mean, he's athletic enough, right? 73 speed, 80 excel. He can definitely get to the quarterback with that. And then we have Tyrell Owens, who might actually be our right guard this season. Maybe we do actually let Shaq Mason go right away. Dev, I really thought he was going to be superstar. I'm honestly a little surprised that he wasn't. And then, of course, we traded up for Evan Lindsay, the 73 overall tight end of hopefully the future. A little bit of trucking, not much, but a little bit. Good run block. Pretty solid catching, and then route running for short is good. Everything else a bit mediocre for sure. But let's take a look at the dev. Maybe we get lucky. We do not. Pretty prototypical white dude at tight end. We're number 81 as well. Very basic number even for a tight end at least. And then Underwood, like we said, very solid looking safety. Was there anyone we really wanted? I guess there was two players I wanted. I wanted to see the running back, Robertson, and then the center where I don't even know where he went. Campbell. Wow, he went one pick before us, huh? 76 overall, like I said. Oh, but he was normal, so we definitely dodged a bullet there, in my opinion. Let's take a look in the second round where Robertson went. He went all the way up to the Falcons of all teams, 75 overall. Ooh, hidden dev. 94 speed, 95 excel, 89 change of direction. That is a really good running back. Oh my, injuries a little low. Change it, break tackles a little low, but that's fine. Star dev. I guess they wanted their own version of Gibbs, I suppose. It's not a bad pick if you're going to use them like they do with him. Here we have the Season 2 team. I'm a little worried about, being able to resign everyone. We're going to start Owens. Shaq Mason will be on the team just as a backup for now, but we definitely need a new center. Might need a new left guard, and we might have to replace both tackles. I'm not really sure what's going on contractually. Some regression because they're a bit older. Tooney usually retires after this season. So we'll see what happens there. Brand new tight end, Lindsay. We have a really good tight end 2 in Schultz, but I just think Lindsay has a higher ceiling, and he's a little bit more of a vertical threat. Running back definitely needs to be worked on. Wide receiver is perfectly fine. Quarterback, obviously, perfectly fine. D-line, we got 2 DTs that hopefully are long-term. Edge, hopefully long-term. We got Hunter in 2 more years. We'll pay Will next season. Safeties, solid for another year or 2. Petrie, 84. Bullock, 84. Linebackers, definitely going to be looking to replace our middle linebacker, and then corners are fine. So 88 overall before the season starts. That's a playoff team if I've ever seen it, and maybe a little bit more convincing than 8, 9, and 8. But hey, 9 and 8 Super Bowl is a 9 and 8 Super Bowl. Doesn't matter if we're 17 and 0, 9 and 8, as long as we're winning it all. Hunter, okay, we might not be super screwed. We do have to pay some pretty expensive players, but Derek Stingley, Will Anderson, Tank Dell, I don't know if we want to pay him. We'll see. Gordon, I think we'll have to pay. Toto, I'm sorry, we're not doing that. Mixon, we'll see what kind of regression we're looking at. And then Tunsil, definitely going to pay him. Tooney, he retires pretty consistently at 34 for some reason. We'll pay attention, but we'll see. Any real-life names? No. So, we'll see how much money we're getting knocked out here, but I like seeing the number I've seen. I'll tell you that much. How much is this per year? 27. It's a lot, but that's fine. We'll do a 5-year. I think any higher would be a disservice because usually when they get a little older, they regress a little bit and that money comes down a little bit. Will Anderson, about 30-year. Let's make it a 30 even. We'll do it over 7 because he's that guy. Boom. 114 mil left. I think Kyler Gordon's contract is too good to pass up, so we will do a 3-year 24. A little bit more than that, so maybe we hesitate a little bit on that. We'll see. Toto, I can't do that. 25 years old, 79. I can maybe do a 1 year on that. Nothing more. Mixon will have to see the regression, like I said, and then Tunsil, 2-year deal worth 54. Boom. So have 80 mil left, and then we have to pay CJ Stroud, but his shouldn't be more than 20 mil technically because his tag's being factored in already, which was like 37. So we could realistically spend 40, 50 here and still be fine. Tooney, once again, we'll wait on, and then Tank Dell, we'll offer. Let's keep the team intact. There you go. 68 mil. We just had to bump Kyler slightly. Maybe pay Mixon, and then possibly pay Tooney. Other than that, though, we're in a pretty good spot. We've paid everyone. We just have to replace some linemen. To the playoffs, we had a really good second half of the season. I also paid Henry To'oTo'o for a 1 year 11. It's good money for him. It's a safe option for us. We are 13-4. Not going to be good enough for the number 1 seed, but very damn close to it. Just won a Super Bowl, and we're well on our way again with a really good season, even better than last year. But this is a very fitting time for us. Look at that second half of the season, but very fitting for us to lose the very first round as a 13-4 team, a team that seemingly belongs. But we'll see what happens here. CJ Stroud, still in the same scheme. It's not going to put up great numbers, but it got us a Super Bowl win, and I try anytime I can to keep it as personal to that team as possible. And if we're making the playoffs, we're winning Super Bowls in year 1. I mean, there's no reason to come off of it, even if we could do better with another scheme. Burden was great again. Nico Collins was solid. Lindsey was pretty good. And then Tank Dell, he's the slot guy. It's just going to happen. It's just the way it is. Nico Collins was so efficient with those catches. As far as the defense goes, Henry To'oTo'o looking really good. Pass rush, full season with the Bills defense. Walden has a year. Anderson and Hunter have a year each. Picks 4 for Dean and Stingley. I mean, what a year we just had. Fairbairn was solid. Punty was good. Don't look at the special teams anymore, like kicker return, punt return, because you just never see a touchdown. You see a touchdown at that side once every 30 rebuilds. It's a waste of time, really. CJ Stroud, number 10 for MVP, which is pretty impressive because this is not a great quarterback volume scheme, as Walden is going to go to star, maybe superstar, after his Rookie of the Year award-winning season. Running back number, or was that wide receiver number? No, it was running back number 3, wide receiver number 4. Offensive line numbers 5 and 6. Both of them are starters, so that would be earned. Hunter at 2, Anderson at 5, Walden at 7. Linebacker, a little surprised to not see To'oTo'o. He actually had a pretty good year, 123 tackles, couple of sacks, I think, in there, a pick and a half or something like that, or 1.5 sacks, pick. I can't remember, but it was a decent season. Stingley at 4, kicking at number 9. But back in the playoffs, this time, like I said, earned, so very fitting for us to not run as far as we did with the 9-8 team, especially going against an 8-9. This feels like it's already written on the wall, Offense was pretty damn good last playoff run. Let's see if they do it again. 3-0, 3-3, 10-3, and the Patriots are still scoring. Here we go, 17-6, starting to pull away, 24-6, looking really convincing, 31-6. Defense, I mean, they did have their moments last season as well. 31-13, 38-13. 41-20. What a finish there. Obviously, the Patriots made it look a little closer with that touchdown at the end, but it really wasn't. After that first quarter ended, so did the game, realistically. Looking at the numbers, though, Drake May was pretty good. Just CJ Stroud was a little more efficient, and, of course, the 4 rushing touchdowns may have helped the offense a little bit. That's why stats aren't always the perfect thing to go off of, because you look at this game, you're like, that's not that good. But Joe Mixon, even though he played a huge factor, did put up 4 touchdowns himself, and that's with 130 yards. Receiving yardage, 86, 79, 64. Sack totals, we did pretty well. Again, Anderson, Walden, Rivers, picks, 0, and nothing for the kicking. On to the divisional with the Chiefs as our opponent. I mean, we've done it once, especially in this divisional round, this time at home, so a little bit more of an advantage compared to last time. We're at 91 overall as well, so we're higher than before. So if we're going to do anything against this Chiefs team, if we did it once, you could do it again. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a Mickey Mouse championship round if we do win, though. It is the Bills and the Ravens on the other side playing against each other for whoever wins this one. Our defense is doing a pretty good job, but our offense is struggling. Second half, we finally get points to put us in the lead. Another touchdown puts us in a further lead. That could be it with that touchdown. The Chiefs won't go away. 3 minutes left, and it looks like Joe Mixon calls game. 34-20. The Chiefs have met their match, it seems. CJ Stroud a bit better in his own personal stats this time. Mahomes barely over 50%. Mixon, what a game he's had. I really hope he doesn't regress hard. We have it as low as physically possible, other than age regression itself. Pass rush is pretty good as well. But yeah, Joe Mixon has had himself a playoffs. We need him desperately for next season, but I don't know if he's going to be here. Championship round, I really don't know who we want. Ravens? Well, we get the Bills. We have a 6 overall lead on them. Let's find out if we can go back-to-back Super Bowls. All right, here we go. Buffalo starts off with 3. We bounce back with 7. Defense gives up 7, unfortunately, and then another 7 after a short field. Offense is drive, then another slow start like last week. We miss an extra point again like last week. We're driving down, and if this is a touchdown drive, we lose. 3rd and 7, and that's going to be game. 4 minutes left. There's no way this team can do it. 3rd and 5, you got to convert, and then they throw a pick to Benford. The Buffalo Bills have defeated us. No back-to-back Super Bowl championships for us, or even trips to the Super Bowl, mind you. CJ Stroud just had an astronomically horrible game. 3 interceptions is just unacceptable. The Bills don't even have the DBs like that. I know it's all about the pass rush, but still, I mean, we had more sacks than they. Well, maybe we didn't, but Danielle Hunter was a better sacker. No, we did, actually. 5. Yeah, we had 6 versus their 3, and yet our quarterback's the one throwing picks? Bishop, Benford, and Bernard. Throwing it to all the Bs, huh? Nice. And then we miss an extra point on top of it for good measure. Damn, CJ Stroud just absolutely sold this team. All right, let's find out some of these retirements. Hopefully we didn't lose. We didn't lose the tackle. All right. Tooney stays. Usually 35 is a good number, but a lot of times, especially Joe Tooney himself, 34 is his cutoff. Which, hell, I mean, if I had that money, I'd do the same, possibly. Mixon, unfortunately, drops down to an 84 overall. He's an X factor, but yeah, 84 overall. I don't know if that makes him unusable or not. If he's cheap enough, maybe we keep him and start him one more year, but I really don't know what that does for him long term. That might kill him. I'm not sure. Defensively, anyone going on? Will Anderson was not an X factor before, I don't believe. Walden goes straight to superstar, which is great. But no one else gets DevOps. What a year Walden had, though. He's an X factor, a superstar now. 90 finesse, basically. 90 block shed. 82 power move, pretty much. What a year. I mean, what a year. That's why I don't worry too much about normal DTs, but if you don't have a good rookie year, then I worry. Usually, it's over. You have to have that rookie year. If it's not a good rookie year, it's over. 86 overall, what a guy. As he's basically the best DT on the team now. Number 1. Yeah, the team looks pretty good. Yes, we have some regression from, guys like Danielle Hunter and whatnot, but if we replace the linebacker, we got Henry Toe for another year, so we'll replace 1 linebacker, maybe 2, and then, replace Henry for the future if we want. Get some O-linemen. We're in a good spot. I mean, I don't love the running back situation. Maybe there's somebody we want to sign, but it's all right. It's fine. We had a good year again, just not quite a Super Bowl winning one, as it seems like the Buffalo Bills completely killed Dallas for the win. So how much money we got? 63. I do like, how much was it? So it was 2 year 13. 1 year 6.5. Okay. I mean, assuming he's going to be a starter, I would do the contract for Tooney if he's down. I mean, I'd like to keep the team intact. I mean, it's a pretty good player. $33 million. I think that's enough to cover the deficit that we need to fix for Mr. CJ Stroud. I'll show you. We're going to go for a new middle linebacker. Finally, a rookie, and then Scruggs. Not a bad player. It's just I want to get youthful. I want pause. I want to build up the team long term. All right, free agency. Obviously, some really awesome names, but we're going to be holding our money. We're going to make sure that we don't go a little overboard. But damn, nobody wants Dalton Schultz. We don't go too far overboard and lose CJ Stroud. That's the one guy that we can't lose. Love to get Trenton Simpson, be awesome, but yeah, we can't do that. We're going to save the money and guarantee CJ's on the team. We are in the draft, and I scouted some of the running backs who are at the top because they're all pretty fast, and I found a top 5 in Alex Ward. The problem is, it's a running back, and yes, I need a running back, but I can't go in the first round. I just don't know how I would be able to get all the way up there. The hope is that teams just don't need running back that bad, I guess, and he falls, but I don't see that happening. He's around 1, top 5 true talent. They're going to notice it. They're going to see it. We're going to be screwed. He's still there, I suppose. I mean, he's still there. I tried to trade to Chicago, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Got some other needs like linebacker, though, so it's a tough one. I can't. I just can't. We just can't do it, dude. We need so many players. You need multiple linemen and you need multiple linebackers. Yes, they're not all starters now, but I will need them. I'll still slow skim just in case. If Ward's there at 20, obviously, I'm going to take him, but I just don't see it. It's going to cost us both of those, that second and third round pick, and we just can't do that. Ward goes 15 to the Commanders. Pretty good spot, actually. Just can't do it, Just I simply can't. We also do still have Springs, Matthew Springs, if we want a running back. I'm not a huge fan of that ball carrier vision, but he is athletic. Don't really love the 1-2 on him. Could also move down for Allman, who's around 1. A cornerback, kind of safety-ish more than a corner, but that's what I've been looking for, is safety. I don't know what to think here. We have an edge rusher or two for the replacement of potentially Hunter Sunanavi, and he dropped another couple overalls. Hodge looks good, but I think it might be a little early. It might be like 2 seasons early. And like I said, I haven't even decided yet if we're doing a 4th or 5th season. Kind of depends on how this season goes, I think. But I really wanted a running back, but I'm not really loving the situation now. Ward I wanted the most, and the rest, they're good, just not the same. I think we're going to trade down to the Browns pick here, which I think we got scammed on, by the way. That value is terrible, but I want that guard, I think. Allman, offensive linemen, they're just so dime a dozen hidden-wise. Round 1 doesn't even really guarantee anything. Doesn't even guarantee hidden, but he does look a bit better than the rest, so I suppose it's worth it. Colby Allman, 6'2", 22. If he's normal, I'm never doing it again. Hidden dev, there you go. About to say, pick 18, or True Talent 18, that's 74, 75 overall. It's pretty good. We have 30 in the second round now. Might go with another lineman. We need at least a linebacker. We need 2, arguably, because Toto, but for now, we're fine. We can live without him. But yeah, also, at the same time, we want all these linemen. We're down to, no linemen, so maybe I wasn't wrong to take him there. I'm going to take Sellers as well. 43 true. Hidden dev, what a pick. All right, so we got 2 more linemen. Could arguably use another, but for right now, we're fine. We need 1 linebacker, and I could be pretty happy with the draft class. All right, 3rd, 4th, and a 6th to trade up to the Titans. That's literally our whole draft class. But if we land a pretty good linebacker here, which I'm hoping we do with the speed of Mr. Hayward, we've had ourselves a pretty good draft. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I don't want him. Maybe I don't want him at all. He is the rawest of the bunch, it seems. What about the less speedy players? Anyone else there? It's kind of the range I wanted to be in. Blockshed's good. His coverage isn't as good. Hayward's kind of raw. Baldwin looks the best, right? What was his speed again? Blockshed's a little iffy. I don't know, dude, but I'm going to do him. Trent Baldwin, 43 true. No, it's actually better. Normal dev. No, it's worse. 71. Why do I go off ball, outside linebacker? They're almost always normal dev. That was just a terrible draft. I should have just taken Hayward. I bet you Hayward's going to be hidden. Damn, it would have been a really good draft class too, but nope. Super thin class because we're not really trading down super far, and we get 2 linemen that are both 74, 75 overall. Allman, really good pass blocker. He looks to be a center, if you ask me, so we're going to be putting him at center. Automatic starter. The other 2, though, no, actually, I think the other guard, not the other 2, the other guard, Sellers, actually does at the start. I think we need him at left guard because of Titus Howard, so say what you will. Actually, we might even need another lineman, no? No, we have a right guard, I forgot. Never mind. We sat Shaq Mason. Fair enough. Pretty good stuff there, but Baldwin, he can win Rookie of the Year, but that was a bad decision. We should have taken Hayward. We're about to find out right now how bad of a decision it was. Hayward went 24 in the 3rd, and, okay, to be fair, he is also normal, but obviously still significantly better regardless. All right, Season 3, I think we'll do 5 seasons. I think. We'll see what happens. If the team regresses out of the playoffs, maybe not, but the team is obviously looking better and better for the most part every year. Obviously, Mixon's going down, but CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, Burden, Lindsey now, offensive line, they're getting better every year. Defensively, Baldwin are hoping for a Rookie of the Year type of season, because if not, we're going to have to replace him and Toto. D-line's great. We'll see what happens with Hunter and his regressions. And safety, it's actually come along a lot better than I thought it was going to, especially Petrie, 86 overall. He needs a contract. Could be his final year on the team. We'll see what happens there. But really, as long as we can afford CJ Stroud, I'm pretty happy with where we're at. A lot of money again, but a lot of that does need to go to CJ Stroud. About $60 million of it. We'll make this a clean 60 per 6 year for 360. We still have a lot of money though, 110 million. Nico Collins, unfortunately, also a guy you have to pay though, so we'll knock that out as well. It's a lot of money, but we got to do it. Bullock, for sure, keeping him as, we're possibly going to be losing Petrie. I do not want to lose both of the safeties. Lassiter, obviously we pay him as well, a 6 year 57, which is great. $58 million. I probably should have looked ahead just in case. Yeah, I mean, we're up against it a little bit. A little bit, especially when we have to pay Burden soon, but I think we're good enough. I think we have to replace Petrie. Definitely Toto. We already knew that was going to happen. And then Tooney's going to retire regardless of what we want. And then Mixon's going to be too low of an overall to keep around. Hopefully Danielle Hunter takes a 1 year 626, and he will not. So this could be a tough one, actually. We could probably do a 2 year, actually. You got to pay Burden, but that's fine. Walden with the X Factor. Man, he has really just been a god ever since he's joined the team. Win or lose, we have the number 1 seed. That's kind of crazy, is it not? Number 1 seed Texans. Almost had it last year, and then the first year is the best one we had, and we won anyways for good measure. But it was the best one we had, despite being only 9-8. So really been dominating in this rebuild. Obviously, once again, it's more of a reload than anything, but Joe Mixon, even at a lower overall, is up there. So I don't know if it's scheme or what's the story there, but let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, that's a really good season for an 85 overall running back. Let's take a look at receiving. Burden's been killing it. Collins is solid. Lindsey's been good. Tank Dell is the slot, so what can you do? Tunsil was horrible for us, though. Pass rush, Walden with 20. Anderson with 15. Hunter with 11. Sanders 7.5. What a year this defense had. Stingley with 7 picks. Kicking was good. Punting was great. One hell of a year for the team. Where is CJ Stroud at number 7? Any award wins for us? Freaking Jalen Walden, number 1 for Defensive Player of the Year in general. Rookie of the Year, no. Baldwin at 2 is a disaster. CJ Stroud's a Pro Bowler. Mixon's a Pro Bowler. Burden's a Pro Bowler with Collins at 9. Offensive line, Sellers, the rookie, at 5. Owens at 8. D-line, number 1 and 2 and 10. Linebacker, no. DB, definitely number 1 with Stingley, and kicker, number 3. So we cleaned up pretty nicely on these awards, and for anyone that didn't, a lot of those guys at the top would have been Pro Bowlers anyways. What a year that was. 92 overall, and of course, the first team we have to play is the damn Chiefs. All right, here it is, the divisional round. I mean, this would be the 3rd time, and it's the Bills again in the freaking championship round. This would be the 3rd time we've beaten the Chiefs in the playoffs. There's no way, right? As we're actually doing a pretty good job. 14-3, 21-3. Defense is limiting them as pretty well as they can. And I really just can't believe this. I mean, this is ridiculous. 42-17. We have beaten the Chiefs again. And this is just a monster performance. Mahomes has met his kryptonite. I mean, they can't do anything against his defense. 4 touchdowns, 0 picks, 81% completion percentage. Mixon was pretty solid, just not a whole lot of volume. As far as receiving goes, Collins, Lindsey, Mixon in the receiving game was good. Burden had a touchdown, pass rush, 2 for Anderson, 2 for Hunter, 1 for Walden. They had 0 sacks. Stingley with a pick. I mean, it was damn near a perfect game from our side, and it's against the Chiefs of all teams. All right, we know who we're facing. The Bills, they beat us by quite a lot last time. And the craziest part is, that 31-10, I think it was, versus the Cowboys. It's actually the Cowboys that won that. So where does that place us? I don't know. Let's find out. Jumping forward to the end of the game. 7-0. 10-0. Buffalo doing it again. I don't like this. I don't know why this Bills defense is so hard for us to beat. 10-6. 13-6, another field goal, man. I mean, the defense is trying to keep us in it, but the offense, speaking of kryptonite, I mean, this offense can do nothing. I mean, they are getting literally stomped on. I mean, we're winning 42-17 against the Chiefs, and we're losing 20-9 versus the Bills. That is insane. Like, I don't understand what this is, but the Bills' defense is just on next level? That's ridiculous. I don't know what makes them so good, but apparently they are. That's ridiculous, man. I want to see this defensive overall. Like, is it like 99? For us to just basically take care of your business every single time, and then we face the Bills 2 times, just get completely stomped on, is ridiculous. I guess they're just that good. 88 overall defense versus our 92-0, 95D. And we just can't move a muscle. I guess it is the Bills' defensive scheme. It is really good, but all right. I mean, I guess the Bills are just that good. That's kind of crazy. Bills versus Packers in the Super Bowl. I mean, I guess we'll do 2 more seasons because I'm kind of curious to see what we would do with a team that's already kind of good out the gates. and then the money dries up, because that's kind of the situation we're in right now. Usually we don't have to worry about the money drying up because it's like year 5 or 6, but no, it's year 4 right now, and the money's, we're right up against it, right? We can't really afford most of our players. Winner of the Super Bowl is the Bills by 2. Let's take a look at our dev ups if we had any. I'm trying to think offensively. Maybe the tight end if we're lucky. Nope, not going to be the tight end. Defensively, what do we got? Walden was already an X factor because of the breakouts. Baldwin doesn't go up in dev. Nakobe Dean goes to star. It's not always a common sight that you see him go to star dev. So okay, was it last year that happened? And I just completely forgot. I just didn't even notice it. Must have been last year, I guess. Or it was a weekly award, one of the two. And also, somehow, Joe Tooney's still here. The one time we don't have money to resign him is the time he stays and sticks around. We got a couple of coordinator things. We'll get some free XP and head on to the offseason, headed into season number 4. Year 1 Super Bowl, 0 Super Bowls after? ? Holy crap! Burden wants 52 on a tag. I hope it's not that many, man. It might actually be like 42 million per. We're losing the safety, the linebacker, even Joe Mixon. Nah, we can't lose Joe Mixon. Like, he hasn't showed that he sucks yet. His overall's low, but he's played well, and that's all that matters to me. Joe Tooney obviously gone. So, yeah, we're taking a bit of a hit with these contracts. Even Fairbairn, I got to let him go. He's good, but not great. I got to go as cheap as I can. I got to go rookie kicker even, probably. Going to the offseason, we are broke as hell. Free agency, it's basically irrelevant to us, but we'll take a look just to see if there's any crazy names there. Gibbs, you almost always see him in free agency. Jordan Addison, sometimes you do. Pooney, almost always. Turner on Arnold, almost always. McNeil, almost always. Petrie, pretty common, which obviously is our player. Jack Campbell, almost always. It's usually the time of the Lions, and I think next season's usually the Eagles. Always kind of the run-of-the-mill. Chop Robinson's a star dev. You don't usually see that. I mean, this is actually a pretty good free agent group, but at this point, we can't afford anyone. All right, we're in the draft. Pick 30 overall. We have... Who the hell are half of these guys? Oh, I forgot we scouted outside linebacker because we needed off-ball. And I figured we can also maybe look at some edge rushers while we're in the process of that, because obviously we will have to pay or replace Hunter sooner or later. But I think for right now, we're actually kind of chilling. But for the favorites, we scouted a couple of running backs. We have McAllister as a round 1. I mean, we definitely need a running back. Mixon is not going to be here forever, and he might even be terrible this season. I didn't get to scout any of the safeties. I need a safety badly, but a lot of times you can wait it out. I just don't know if I will. Yes, you can usually wait it out, but was it this in one of those drafts where they're all just gone? I'm not really sure. Mike Smith, 6'1", kind of slow. One of the safeties definitely went, because I had a guy that was like a round 1, and he's obviously not here anymore. So where did he go? I would not be able to tell you. Where was he? Combs, 22 to the Dolphins. Pick 30 overall, huh? I don't like the fact that the running back is 22. If I can sit a guy a year, I'm going to go Wolf. 1 of 2. Hidden dev, calling it. True talent of what? 34? Oh, my. I was tricked by speed again. Always tricked by speed. We tried a 2nd, a 4th, and a 6th this year with a 5th next year, and Macklin to move up like, I don't even know, what is that, freaking 13 spots or something like that. To take the final safety. There's only one safety left. We need a starting safety. Or, I mean, arguably we could if we had to deal with the guys we got. But, yeah, Kevin Gresham's going to be the best available. Don't know the zone, but he's fast enough. I go for either potentials and or speed. He's got the speed. Let's hope the potential is there as well. 14 true, but normal dev, man. He's also slower than I would have thought. 4.45 is a freaking 89 speed. Well, I mean, we're definitely getting worse, so that's for sure. We're going to try to find a linebacker as we literally need... I mean, once again, we could start Smith, but we need a linebacker realistically, which... There's 3 good ones, so we'll wait for the last one, as per usual. A bunch of later round draft picks to move up a good, I don't even know, another like 10 spots in the 3rd round to take the final linebacker. We also need a lineman, which I'm really debating. Maybe we go Flowers instead of linebacker, because we do have Smith. We could rock with the linebackers we have, but I do like, I like Allen a lot. 56 true, and I shouldn't have liked him a lot because he is normal dev. Man, we've been kind of selling in the drafts lately. And here we go with one final trade for that lineman. A 3rd next, a 6th next, a 5th 2 years from now with Grant and Conway to move to 81. This is the thinnest we've kind of set ourselves in the draft for a while now. or in a while now, but we could always just trade down from next year. We'll see what happens. But Marcus Flowers looks really good. I think we're going to move our left guard to right tackle, and he is hitting, so it was a good move. But left guard that, was in the top 5 for best O-line, we're going to be moving him over to right tackle because he's got a little bit more size. We're going to have a pretty small offensive line, I got to say, but hopefully that doesn't play a factor. And while this group of kickers is terrible, I mean, Bailey's the best we've got. Not the greatest kick power, but he's got good accuracy. 124 true. Normal dev, 91 kick power. Better than I would have thought. I would have thought 89, 90 based on what it said. I think it was like solid kick power. Usually that's 89, 90. But yeah, I mean, he's going to be our kicker because we, once again, couldn't afford a kicker. Couldn't afford Fairbairn, so we needed a rookie 68 overall kicker. He's going to lose us some games, isn't he? Michael Wolf, well, obviously have to compare him to McAllister, who not only went later than us, but might have hidden depth. Wolf, really good change of direction. I mean, this is a good player, without a doubt. It's just, we're looking for hidden devs. We're looking for guys that can develop quickly. Don't know if I can see that with him. Gresham, another normal development trait player when we move into free safety. Great player, though. 80 zone, 81 hit power. That's a good player. 69 catching, even. I mean, there's not really a weakness on him other than his speed. And then Allen, yet another normal development trait player. But he's not bad. He's not the greatest in coverage, but he's not bad. But I will say overall, the draft itself kind of was. Let's go to the next round and see what that running back looked like. He went to the Titans, I believe it was. You also had Pace. Bo McAllister, hidden development trait, 6'1", 231. Maybe it was Pace, actually, that I'm thinking of. Bo McAllister, automatically better than our guy, no matter what you think. Star dev. Maybe in a user league, you're actually using the team. You probably would rather have our guy because he's a bit faster. And then Pace, 93 speed, normal dev. Season 4, we still have Mixon as the starter. If he struggles early, though, we're going to start the rookie Wolf. A lot of potential there. He's 21 years old, just normal dev, which sucks. But Sellers moves over to right tackle. Flowers is at left guard. We got some youth. We need to replace Tunsil. Still might need to replace Sellers, but move Sellers back to left guard. Don't really love the kind of size to athleticism ratio there at some of these positions. Defense is taking a little bit of a hit, though. D-line is obviously as good as ever. Corners are really, really good, but free safety, 2 linebacker spots, not my favorite thing. Kalen Bullock, I can't believe how well he's developed, though. I mean, just unbelievable. But yeah, year 4, coming off of a really disappointing loss again to the Bills. We just need someone else to take them out because right now it's just, we run right into them and it's just a shredder. They just completely dominate us. All right, $83 million. A lot of that's going to be going to Burden. Some of that's going to be going to Sanders. James looks like he's going to be gone. Hunter, oof. So we're obviously losing Tunsil 1,000%. But then we also have Walden to pay. So, I mean, we're losing somebody. I don't know who, but it can't be Burden. I'll tell you that much. It cannot be Burden. He's too good. I guess I'll do a 6-year 204. Leaving us with only $50 million. I don't want to lose Hunter either because, well, edge rushers are really hard to replace. 1 year 29. Even if we did the 1 year 29 and we paid Sanders, we'd have no money for Walden. I think Walden's gone no matter what, though. So, man, this is tough. Walden's so good, but he's so expensive. I honestly think you let Daniil Hunter go, and even then, I don't know if you can afford Walden. He's having another really good year, but he's about to be 34, might retire, and if not, 35, almost certainly. And I once again do want to keep Walden if possible, but man, that's a lot of money. We're headed to the playoffs. He had a pretty good start to the season. How did it finish, though? 13-4. No bye week, unfortunately. The Bengals are the Bills in the playoffs. They are. Please, somebody. I'm asking. I'm begging you. Kill them. Who is it? The Jet. Oh, my God. That's the freest in the world. Oh, we're 100% playing the freaking... No, we're not. We're not going to be playing the Bills. We physically can't play the Bills. Okay? I mean, let's just hope if the Bills move on that the Chargers beat them. All right, let's take a look at the stats. CJ Stroud, I mean, obviously, it's going to be kind of low volume. We're in this Texans scheme. But Mixon, he had another year. What can I do? I can't bench him. Can't sit him if he's still playing really well. Offensive line was actually not bad, especially since we had a guard playing tackle. Anderson was great. Sanders was really good, actually. Hunter was solid. And then Walden opened the door for us letting him go. Stingley, 6 interceptions. Bailey, 85% completion percentage, kicking-wise, is really good. 51.9 yards per punt. Over 50 means it's a good season. And the awards, MVP, CJ Stroud, number 8. Josh Allen wins MVP. Who would have thought? I mean, we can't stop them. Will Anderson, Defensive Player of the Year. Of course, Wolf, number 2 for Rookie of the Year. Must have been a weak year. Allen, number 3 for Defensive Rookie of the Year. We've been struggling to get that Defensive Rookie of the Year for these linebackers. Stroud, best QB at 6. Running back Mixon at 2. Best wide receiver at 10. Best offensive lineman at 5. Best D-line at 1, 5, and 6. Best linebacker nowhere. DB Stingley wins it again. And then kicker at 8. The youngster in the playoffs against the Bengals. Trying to avoid the Bills. Trying to get back to another Super Bowl. End of the game. Let's see how we're living. 7-0, really good start. 10-0, really good start. They get a touchdown, though. 10-7, 10 all. 17-10. Still 17-10. 24-10. One more score should do it. There it is. 31-17. The Bengals give us a pretty good fight, but we do double their score. 34-17. Headed to the divisional round. Once again, I'm pretty sure it's physically impossible for us, unless I made a mistake somewhere, to play the Bills. They're the lowest seed. We're the 2nd seed. So getting that bye week, assuming the Bills win, would have been a bad decision. So I'm kind of glad we didn't get it, especially since we won this wild card round anyways. Really good pass rush as usual. Allen with a pick. Kicking was clean. We just had a really good game. To the divisional, we've got the Ravens, which means they beat the Titans. The Bills, of course they move on. Come on, Chargers. I mean, I don't even know if we're going to beat the Ravens, to be fair, but still, if we do, our real only chance, it seems, is if somebody takes out the Bills first. Halftime score, we're down 2. The Ravens are giving us a good run. It's a 2-point game. Into the 4th quarter, we get a field goal. It's a 1-point game now. 4th and 9, they're going to have to punt it. I mean, if we sustain a drive here, we win. But C.J. Stroud throws an interception. It's a 2-point game. A field goal wins it, potentially. But no, it's going to be a 67-yard touchdown on Nico Collins. But it does give the Ravens, I don't know why we didn't go for 2 there, by the way. It does give the Ravens a chance with a minute left to try and win it. But no, they cannot do it. And we are headed to the championship round, where it could be once again against the Buffalo Bills, seemingly the only thing standing in our way of complete league dominance. We've basically taken care of business against every other team we have ever played, except for the Bills. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Still can't believe we didn't go for 2 there at the end. Luckily, it didn't matter, but I'm not really sure why they didn't. It became a 5-point game. What's the, I get there's situations clockwise why you would do that, right? You know, you get the 5, they get the field goal, whatever. But in that situation, it was literally the Ravens are either going to win the game at the end or lose it. You got to go for 2. You got to make it a 6-point game, so that extra point, maybe you block it. Either way, they're going to need a touchdown. Give yourself a better chance if you get that 2 points. So, don't know why they didn't do it, but it didn't really matter, thankfully, as we head to the championship round against. Let's see it. Yep. We knew it was going to happen. And also, I didn't realize that it was 6-3 that the Bills won. I thought it was just the seeding. I just kind of glanced at it because that's also the seed that they had. That's crazy. They beat the Chargers by 3. I swear, if we lose this, and it's basically like what we've done to the Chiefs, I'm going to be devastated. We're almost 10 overalls higher than them. Also, McAllister. Don't tell me that's the running back McAllister. We looked at the dev. It was like Star, wasn't it? Holding on so tightly to freaking Joe Mixon. Come on, Houston. We get a good stop. They get a stop, too. I mean, we are just struggling so hard to score despite short fields. 7-0. I mean, this is a defensive battle again. 14-7, 14-10, and here it is. Buffalo, come on, 1 touchdown. Ah, man, 5 minutes left, and we're looking like we're going to the punt. Nice first down to Burden. Good drive, but another. I was about to say, but we go backwards. Lindsey, huge play. Come on, get a touchdown. Not going to do it, but they wasted a lot of clock. And Buffalo runs out of time. The offense does just enough, but yes, yet again, the Bills try to do it to us. I can't believe them. C.J. Stroud outplayed by Allen. We did have a touchdown rushing, but our run game wasn't even that good. Lindsey had a really good game in this one. I just can't believe what they have over us. Bishop with a pick last time. Fairbairn on their team sold the game with a missed kick. Moving on, saved us. That is like the ultimate in loyalty right there. Fairbairn's like, I got you. I get it. I was on that losing side. I want you to beat the Bills. Obviously not true, but that's what it felt like. I can't believe that. Fairbairn missed a field goal, which would have made it overtime at least, but for their team. As we now have to take on the Eagles, this is going to be a fun one. Do we have any dev-ups? I'm trying to think. Offense is basically maxed out other than Lindsey anyways, but no dev-ups for the offense. And then defense, we have the linebackers still the same old, same old. No dev-ups at all on defense, but the fact that Sanders didn't go up sucks. The linebackers are both normal. Gresham had a pretty good year despite being a normal still, but yeah, those positions, we're just struggling to develop them. Let's take a look at this Philadelphia Eagles team now. 14 wins, was it? They didn't. They had to play in the wild card round. And then they beat, who did they beat? They're putting up some pretty good points in these games, so we know that their defense is good. Hopefully it's somehow worse off. 13-4, 89 overall. We're a better team, but I don't know if I love this matchup for us. All right, for all the marbles. This will be our second Super Bowl in this rebuild. Defense is getting cooked alive. Offense is getting cooked even more, though. It is 17-0 at halftime. We finally get points, but it took us a billion tries in the goal line red zone situation. They're going to go for 2, which is crazy because it's not even the fourth quarter yet, but I get it. I would do the same thing. This is tough. All right, Wolf in the third down situation. I mean, why would I go anywhere else? Nico Collins. Of course, CJ Stroud, biggest game, selling again. Please stop. You literally keep selling in these big moments. Huge touchdown, though, to Nico. Big play. 6-point game. Defense is doing a pretty good job, and wow, they send him back. Touchdown gives you the lead, and they are going to do that. 12 minutes left, and wow, the comeback is on. And now going for even more points to try and put him away. Huge touchdown again, Nico Collins. Defense gets another stop. 4th and 6, the Eagles will have a chance. They need 8, though, and they're going to punt it. Sustain a drive, and you win a Super Bowl. That's exactly what they do. What a comeback. 28-20, they were down 20 to, what was it, 6? And Houston wins a second Super Bowl here in 5 years. That was really surprising. I can't believe Mixon's still good, by the way. Like, how is he still good? I don't know if it's the Texans scheme because I don't really use their scheme much. I don't really pay attention to it much because they literally never win in sim. But the fact that Mixon is still really good, despite being only an 83, 84 overall, is really surprising. So maybe it's a playbook to look at if you're trying to look for okay pass numbers, decent enough to get dev-ups run numbers. As CJ Stroud threw 2 picks, but he turned it around, had 2 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts, not a lot of yards. Mixon, 2 touchdowns. Not bad. Receiving, Nico Collins went nuclear. 11 catches, 197 yards, 2 touchdowns. Burden with another 97. We freaking made Mailata look human. That's a pretty good pass rush in there. They had picks for Bond and Mitchell. Kicking was clean from us. Kicking was clean from them. But ultimately, the Houston Texans have won again with that Houston scheme on offense as well. I guess we're not going to go for 5 years. I think that's good enough. 3 felt too short. 4 because of the Super Bowl win, I think, is a good number. In case you're wondering, though, there is the results. Pretty damn successful rebuild. I know, once again, it's sort of a reload, but the Houston Texans in sim don't do too well, and in real life, they're kind of dismantling some of it, right? We don't know what Tank Dell is going to look like or if he's even playing once again in 2025, and then Stefon Diggs looks like he's going to be gone, and then they need to fix the O-line and all that, but Burden, release, don't worry about it. Happens to the best of them. That sounds really sus because we're talking about release. But, yeah, low release, but everything else is great, right? Speed's obviously kind of sad, but really good catching. Great route running across the board. Juke ability is insane. You know, he just doesn't have much speed. That's the only problem. 88 speed is freaking diabolical, by the way. But Nico Collins, 93 overall. He's a 29-year-old now. I mean, he's got pretty much everything perfect. Yeah, he lost a little bit of speed, which, I mean, he's not young, but he's also not old enough, in my opinion, to be losing speed. CJ Stroud, 99 overall. I mean, basically, literally 99 overall. Break sacks is the only thing that's not 99 overall, besides play action at 98 and throw power at 92. What a freaking guy. Can't believe he threw 2 picks with those ratings. Seems like it's impossible. Lindsey, never devved up, but 87 overall. He's really good. Can't wait to not be able to afford him. Really good short and medium route. Great catching. Blocking's pretty good. And then deep route with most of these guys just never develops. Offensive line, is there anybody here that we really care? I mean, they're all like CPU-generated type of guys. We've seen a dime a dozen. Also, Tank Dell, quietly an 87 overall. At 28 years old, it's a great trio of wide receivers. It doesn't look like the same high potential that he had, but still an 87 overall is really good. Then we move on to the defensive side of the ball, where Danielle Hunter, yes, he did regress, but he's still a 92 overall. He's still insane. He's still really good. Didn't change the regression for that position either. Only running back. That's the only position we changed regression for. Will Anderson, 99 overall. He's so young. Paid him that long-term deal for good reason. Basically 99 everything, especially the ratings that actually matter the most. Then we have the DTs that, we absolutely fixed this, right? Sanders hasn't really always developed for me, but he's always been at least an 85 plus, and that's about all I can ask for, especially from a late second type of player. And then, of course, Walden was ridiculous. He's a 99 overall at 23, about to be 24 years old. 99 block shot, 99 power move, 99 finesse, 99 tackle, 98 play rec, 98 awareness, 95 strength. He's basically Dexter Lawrence, but if Dexter Lawrence was somehow even better. He's a really good player, and I just can't believe he developed that well from normal dev. Mr. Gresham, unbelievable zone coverage. Obviously, he had the hit power always. Speed, not great, but good enough. You can't get him down with those early career regressions. Bullock, 91 overall. Obviously, it was always going to be pretty good with star dev and decently high overall, but didn't think he was going to be this good. This is a really good safety superstar and has those high ratings. Looking at the linebackers now, Mr. Nakobe Dean, 84 overall. He's always good enough to get you to an 83, 85 by himself, his own overall, but you never really get him to that elite status. Even in a user league, I struggle to get him to. We've had him a couple times as our user, and he's never really done what I feel like he could do. X Factor, 90s, nothing. He's never in there. Of course, more of a user type of project than anything, but yeah, just doesn't really develop that well. He's an above-average player, just slightly. Allen, no dev up from him either. We've just been really struggling to get these Rookie of the Year award wins for these linebackers. And obviously, those are the best way to get really anyone devved up, let alone linebackers. It's going to be hard to get those linebackers dev ups most of the time. Stingley, so good. He has an extra upgrade point that he can't even use yet. Multiple best DB award wins. A lot of picks. He has become one of the best league's corners. One of the best league's corners. And, those are words, definitely. Lassiter, really good man in zone coverage, as you'd expect, because he starts out with that. Press, 85. Really good corner, too. This is a really good duo. And, that's kind of it, right? Kyler Gordon's still here, which is a little surprising, I must admit, but 86 overall. He's obviously really good, too. More of a zone guy. Could move him to safety if you really wanted to, but I think that's pretty much going to be it for this one. Bailey, who had a great season, great playoffs. Didn't really even go up that overall that much. The 99, what a number. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this one, maybe leave a like. Subscribe if you're not new. I do appreciate continued support on the channel. Follow me on Twitter, JeromepkR. Second channel, PKR plays for non-Madden content. Been playing Batman Arkham Asylum Remastered. I think it's called something else. Return to Arkham, whatever. Stupid idea. It's like HBO Max. Don't drop the HBO. We know HBO. We know Batman Arkham Asylum. Just keep it in there. Of course, if you have a suggestion for which team you'd like to see next, as there's teams that I haven't done yet, like this Texans team I'm pretty sure I haven't done, but there's also ones that need a redo because they haven't been done since like August, September, October. Teams like the Bengals, I think, where you kind of expect them to turn around, have themselves a playoff season, and it didn't happen. So those kind of things, Bengals fans are like, thanks for reminding me. But yeah, let me know that. Challenge rebuild ideas, following the career ideas, anything like that. If it's kind of unique, you'll be featured on the channel, which I know is the ultimate goal. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed, I'm glad. That's about it. Regardless, thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. Almost got caught in a loop there. But until next video, see ya. And again, shout out to all the members of the channel. Appreciate you guys a ton. We have 2 new members. Hopefully, if there's any other new members, that we catch them in time for this video. But Glenn and Meep, welcome to the members. Check out those members' exclusive videos, including the rebuilds, if you haven't already. Appreciate you for joining, and yeah, appreciate you all watching, member or not. Hopefully come back for next video, but until next video, see ya.